What's going on YouTube? Hey guys, it's Ben. Thank you so much for checking out my channel again today. I really appreciate that. Today I'm going to talk about the rich mindset versus the poor mindset. Now, if you had no idea, there is a huge mindset gap between people that are rich and people that are poor, and mainly it has to do strictly with their mindset. And so if we can dispel a ton of differences between the two today, I hope that the audience watching this video can learn from that and become super rich and wealthy and gain a ton of value from this video. So you should probably already just be smashing the like button right now because hopefully you're already feeling richer. So let's get into the list right now. So first up is resources. So the way rich people view resources like money and things like that is they use them to make more resources like money. So they invest in real estate, they invest in stocks, bonds, things like that. They also invest in themselves, like educational coursework so that they can level up and learn things and grow their business and scale. The way poor people view resources is from a consumption standpoint. So you hear a lot about consumers in the news and whatnot. That basically categorizes poor people. Poor people do nothing but consume. They do not invest. So when they have $500 in their pocket, it basically burns a hole in their pocket until they buy something with it. That's kind of how it works between rich people and poor people when it comes to resources. So now let's talk about work mentality. So the difference between rich people and poor people is that rich people get richer because they use their money to work for itself. So this is the thing I was just talking about as far as resources, right? Their resources come to play here because they're investing them in real estate, which returns them money in rents because they own multiple properties, because they were very smart and invested. They also get dividends from stocks and bonds and things that they put money into. And when they retire, they make millions of dollars from their Roth IRA that they put away, and now they cashed out. But poor people view work in a very different way. Poor people simply do one thing. They trade their time for money, which is the absolute inverse of what rich people do. Rich people avoid this at all costs. Rich people would rather basically die than work for their money. They want their money to work for them, and that's the biggest difference between work and poor people and rich people. So when it comes to risk analysis, risk and reward vary differently. So rich people are very likely to take huge risks for huge rewards. Poor people are very unlikely to take any risk for any reward whatsoever, and that's why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, because the rich person will easily put up $5,500 a year into their Roth IRA, like I said, and cash out for millions when they retire, versus the poor person that will spend all of that money on vacations and random things and whatever it happens to be, and they will continue to become poorer and poorer. And that's the main difference between risk analysis as far as rich and poor go. This next one is really interesting because it's very practical. So relationships is what we're talking about here. Now, the way rich people view relationships is very strategic. So they surround themselves with very valuable and interesting and powerful people. And it's very strategic of them to do this because it actually rewards them highly. So if you haven't heard the saying before, you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around the most. So these people influence you and they turn you into a different person. So if I hung around 5 millionaires, for 5 years, I would be a millionaire eventually. And if I hung around 5 complete poor people, I would just remain a super poor person for the duration of my life, basically. So the way you surround yourself with people is very different, and rich people do this very strategically because they know inside that it means something. Poor people don't even think about it. They just hang around with whomever, and they just basically want to waste their time in life and spend it as quickly as possible because, again, they're just consumers of things and consumers of time. So that's the difference between rich people and poor people when it comes to relationships. So when you see someone that's super rich, sometimes maybe you're thinking, oh man, that person must have just been really lucky. Yeah, that's a big myth. So the difference between rich and poor thinking is that luck has nothing to do with it. Poor people think that everyone who's rich is lucky or, somehow came upon those riches in some fashion that they never would have. It's very much different. Rich people think of luck as a fairy tale, that it doesn't exist. Rich people earn their money. They work for it, they strategically gain it, and they watch over it like a hawk, and they make it work for itself, and luck has nothing to do with it. When a poor person sees a rich person, they think it has everything to do with luck. They think some things always have to do with luck, and they think that if they're not rich, that it's just that their luck is bad, when in reality luck is just a concept. It's not an actual thing. When it comes to mindset, this is a really, really interesting one. So rich people tend to celebrate others' successes, whereas poor people tend to simply just be jealous and envious of others. So rich people have a mindset of success breeds success, and if one of your friends has a ton of success, you should celebrate that for them and be very, very happy for them and not envious or not jealous like a poor person would be. Poor people simply look at that and say, man, I wish I could have that. Man, I want to be that person, or wow, they must have done something bad to get that, or something of that nature. It used to be that in the 1950s, basically, anyone that was rich, they were always doing something bad to get there, or the Rockefellers were just some terrible group of people that got rich doing, God knows what, when in reality they were just building massive, massive infrastructure for the United States and making tons of money because they were the only ones doing it at the time. One thing that might surprise you about a rich person's mindset versus a poor person's mindset is the rich person is very, very humble. So the rich person is very open to being mentored and taught and learning things, whereas a poor person is usually shut off, closed, thinks they know everything, very stubborn, and not open to mentorship or learning anything. The rich person understands that they cannot know everything. Nobody can know everything, and you can't do it all by yourself, and you have to have some sort of mentorship, understanding, and learning from others in order to level up and gain wealth in your business and become more rich. However, a poor person that stays closed off and doesn't allow any of this to happen will always remain poor because of that mindset. All right, guys, so those are just a couple of the differences between poor people and rich people and the mindsets that they have and walk around with all day long. So this is a very consistent thing that goes on, and this is why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and we continue to say that forever since we were born, and we'll continue to say it forever because it's true. The rich person has a mindset that keeps them rich and will make them rich in the future. The poor person has a mindset that keeps them poor and will keep them poor in the future unless they change that mindset. So if you've taken any value out of this video, I would definitely hope that you would smash that like button. If you're not a subscriber yet, you should definitely subscribe. We talk about business, recruitment, startup, investing, all kinds of things on this channel. And so if that's your thing, you should definitely become a subscriber, smash that subscribe button. I will come at you with some value tomorrow on Friday. Hope you guys are having an awesome week, and I will catch you then. Take care.